Okay, so let's go on and let's get into some definitions of what throughput accounting terms mean. And there are only three of them. This is the cool thing about TOC. If you're an accountant, you got to go to school, you've got to get a CPA degree or CPA designation on your name. You probably have to have an accounting degree. You got to go to school for years to learn how to do accounting. But in the TOC world, it's easier than that. All you got to do is learn three things. This is better. So particularly, this is a training for people that are working here. You don't have to be an accountant to be successful using TOC. So throughput, the first term, by far the most important, is the rate at which money is generated through sales. When I say money is generated, I don't mean sales in total. I mean sales less what we call truly variable costs. Some people call it totally variable cost, but I've gotten to like truly variable costs. And what's a truly variable cost? So if I'm selling boxes of packing list envelopes, there are 1,000 in a box. In order for me to sell one more box of packing list envelope, if I'm out of stock, I'll have to buy a box of packing list envelopes. I can't sell one without buying one. There is, for every incremental increase in sales, there's an incremental increase in truly variable costs. If you will, it's our cost of goods sold here. If we had commissions, there were a percentage of the gross profit, then those commissions would also be considered truly variable costs, because I don't make any sale without paying a commission. So I should subtract that commission, which always goes away out of that sale. We used to have salespeople paid under commission. We don't anymore, but many other companies do. And there's our definition of throughput. Questions? Get that?
Yes, that's
okay,
great.
So this is a flow. This is a quantity of dollars that is over some time period. So it's a rate, if you will. Throughput is a rate of flow. So that's when it says the rate at which money is generated. So that could be, so many dollars per day, or so many dollars a month, or so many dollars a year. Right now, for our company, we have about $5.6 million worth of throughput coming in a year. And that's up a lot. Let me go to my YouTube channel. So if we go down here to this bubble chart, there's a 12-second video here. I'll make it big. And here's the 12-second video of what we expect to happen for throughput.
Right.
Now that happened so fast, you probably need to see it again. So let's replay it back here from the beginning. We start with 5.6 million, 2.1 from the third-party logistics, and 3.5 from the distribution side. And if I press play, you'll see what I expect to happen over the next 3 years. Those bubbles change in size. Outsourcing becomes a significant part. ESP Plus becomes the dominant part, and the distribution grows from 3.5 million to 4.4 million. I'm assuming that some of the outsourcing that we bring in, people like SkyGeek, will displace some of the third-party logistics business we do now, but this is all throughput. So we're expecting a 3-year change to 21 million, which gets us kind of on target with Valmont. Maybe we can start to catch up with them.
You did mention before, Henry, that the certain clients, we could have that before that. Is that correct?
Oh, sure. We can have it any time. For example, Green Lane's considering us right now, and comes on in addition to SkyGeek. That would give us more than that target for the next 3 years. We beat that level already.
Right.
So investment, what's that? That is simply the money that's stuck inside the business. So this is money that we have to run the business, but it's stuck inside the business until it gets sold. Now, why do we have it? Why do we allow money to be stuck inside the business? And the answer to that question is because it protects throughput. So if we have inventory of packing list envelopes here in our warehouse, then when somebody calls and orders one, we send it right out to them. If we don't have it in stock to send it right out, the risk is that some other competitor will send it right out to them, and we'll lose the order and the throughput that goes with that order.
Right.
We want to capture what throughput we can, so we stock inventory. We also have your computer, Andrew, which we use because it helps us be able to protect our throughput. We have chairs in the office. We've got fork trucks and rack in the warehouse, all those kinds of things. We only have those things here to protect throughput. If we didn't have enough fork trucks, when somebody orders something, we might be days before we could get around to picking it and shipping it to them. And again, they may go buy from a competitor. So that's investment. Now, operating expense is sublimely simple. This is the money we spend to build capacity. And the only reason to have capacity is to turn inventory into throughput, right? So we're converting that box of packing list envelopes or the coil of steel strapping or the skid of stretch wrap. We're converting that into throughput by selling it to a customer. At that point, we add some price that's higher, presumably higher than our cost. And the difference between the price and the cost multiplied times the number of units is the dollars of throughput that we generate today by having somebody to drive that fork truck, some lights on the building so they can see what they're doing, some utilities to keep them at a temperature that they can possibly be able to do the work without falling out. And all those other expenses we spend are simply to protect, to convert inventory into throughput. And then the last part of this is just definition wise, it's all the expenses, including labor, except for piecework.